the star that Dwight Gooden was, the impact, it just isn't like that today. So then, like when these guys were doing what they did, it was a different universe. You got, Dwight doing that. Mookie is as popular as any Met ever. People just love him. He's heart, soul, core of team. Dwight Gooden has, in my opinion, it's not statistically, but I believe as dominant a pitching season as anyone ever has. 1.53 ERA, 24-4, unblind, no notes. This curveball would drop from a hitter's head to his toes. It was the most insane thing to see. Are you kidding me? To my left, Mookie Wilson. To my right, Dwight Gooden. But this is not just about talking about professional athletes. Two people who've been involved in some of the most historic moments in baseball and sports history, period. This is something particularly special. It's my dad's 80th birthday, John Robert Callagy. And these amazing men, as we are rolling with the Sean Callagy on the podcast, came to the hospital, hanging out with my dad, tears flowing, not because they're athletes, not because they're celebrities, because these are people of heart and they're champions. And sometimes it's very difficult for us to relate to people unless it's in the context of something that's truly special in our heart. They talked about in City Slickers, sometimes there's nothing left to talk about. Billy Crystal talked about, or his friend talked about him and his dad, and they had baseball, and that's all. And that's sometimes what my dad and I had. And this cake, happy birthday, Mookie and Dwight were there. But most importantly, my dad, these guys walked in, started bawling, crying. When I was talking about the stories, my dad didn't know, Dwight and Mookie didn't know you guys were coming. And I was telling the story to my kids in the room, and I'm crying, tears coming down my face. I want to get into what it was all about personally, but let's hear from these guys first. And eeny, meeny, miny, mo, let's go first to my left to Mr. Mookie Wilson, Met extraordinaire, came up when the Mets weren't winning, things weren't happening all the ways you want it to be happening, and he went from all the way from that to what's been rated the third most, I'm calling it the most amazing moment in baseball history.
3-2 to Mookie Wilson. Little roller up along first, behind the bag, it gets through Buckner, here comes Knight, and the Mets win it!
And Mr. Mookie Wilson, can you please tell us a little bit about you, your background, coming up with the Mets, where they were, what it meant to you from there, to 86, or like, how about this, from there until Mr. Dwight Gooden comes to the Mets, please.
Okay, well, I think that my history is like many young people, you come from humble beginnings. I was born and raised on a farm, family of 12 kids in my family, and I'm like right in the middle, 7 boys, 5 girls.
South Carolina. And baseball is something that we did on the weekends because we were tired working. So it was a career. What'd you do on the farm?
We did everything.
What's like the worst thing you ever done on the farm?
Pick cotton.
Wow.
I don't wish that on anybody.
Wow.
Picking cotton is one of the worst things in the world. But picking cotton, corn, cultivating by hand, we don't have all the machines and stuff with it. That we just get a hoe and a rake and you cultivate. So that's where I grew up.
So when you were working on a farm, growing up, Mr. Mookie Wilson, and I'm calling Mr. and Mr. Dwight Gooden because there's how much respect I have for these gentlemen. At what point do you begin to think about a future? Like, did the future look like, hey, I'm going to live the life where I'm going to be working on a farm? Or the time that you start to think about, hey, there could be a different future?
Well, when I worked on the farm, and I didn't have much of a plan because back then, most kids, when they finished high school, military was the only option. It was either military or the farm. I wasn't working on the farm. I had my field work on the farm. But I was lucky enough to be the first child in my family to go to college.
Wow.
And because of baseball, I went to college.
And when you were in high school, did you think you were going to be a professional like, at what point did you first have the thought?
No. Being a professional baseball player was never in my plans.
Wow.
I didn't think about professional baseball until my second year in college. And that was after I was drafted by the Dodgers out of junior college.
And what round was that?
What?
Well, do you remember what round you were drafted?
Oh, I was drafted in, back then they had the supplement draft, which in the winter, they call it the winter draft. Mm-hmm. And I was drafted in the first round by the Dodgers. And I didn't sign because I had no plan. I didn't know what baseball was all about. So I decided to go back to school.
Were you a superstar in high school? Like, how different were you?
Well, that depends what you're in the superstar. I was a really good player in high school. I was my biggest role was pitching. I was mostly pitching. pitcher in high school. In college as well. I pitched most of my college career to my last year of college, and that's when I became an outfielder.
LU in Little League, though, was like everybody like, okay, here's Mookie Wilson. Mookie's coming up, you're leading the league and hits, home run. Like, as a Little Leaguer, or were you just like really good, or were you like the man?
Never played Little League.
Wow.
I played my first all-night baseball in high school.
Okay. And now I'm going to jump over to Dwight Gooden. That's a lot different. That's a lot different than your story, right? In terms of baseball and your dad growing up. So if we take it from where your dad and you start rolling, and from there as a young boy.
Oh yeah. So my dad was from Georgia. Same thing Mookie mentioned. Small town called Americus, Georgia. Where he worked on a farm and all that. I'm the youngest of 5 kids. I'm the youngest by 13 years.
Wow.
So I was very spoiled growing up,
I never know that.
Very spoiled kid growing up. I was born in Tampa, and my dad was a baseball coach. He loved baseball. And back then, you only got the one game a week on Saturdays with Joe Gaggiola.
Wow.
We got all of that on Braves games on the radio. So my dad would get off work at night. We'll sit there, and my nephew, Gary Sheffield, he grew up in the same house. He's my sister's son.
And for those that don't know, I'm sorry, I'm going to jump in for things that people don't know. Gary Sheffield was also an incredible Major League Baseball player, and that's Dwight Gooden's nephew. So imagine they're rolling in this family, like Dwight Gooden and Gary Sheffield. Like,
I grew up in the same house, but my sister had him young. She had him at 15. So basically, my parents raised him. Grew up like a brother. We shared the same bed at one time. So all we want to do is play baseball because my dad coached Little League Baseball, coached semi-pro baseball, and coached girls softball.
your dad was a great player growing up himself, right?
He said he was. I never seen him play. I never seen him play. His play was, but no one seen him play. My mom never seen him play. So, but I tell you what, though, to his credit, the one thing I regret before my dad passed, I never found out where did he get his knowledge from, because he taught Gary. He knew Gary was gonna be a hitter, and he said he knew I was gonna be a pitcher, even though I wanted to be a hitter. But he said, no, your best thing gonna be a pitcher. He taught Gary the way Gary used to work at that bat. That was all for timing. He taught Gary about hitting. He taught me about pitching. I had the high leg kick. That was all about timing, get my arm time and getting a good place to throw. So he taught us all that. Like when we first go to the park, like he came over one day from work. He said, how much you guys like baseball? I don't remember, but my mom said I told him that one day I want to go on TV. So he said, okay. When I come home from work, we'll go to the park. We're going to work on some things. So he'll take us to the park. No glove, no bat, no ball. So it wasn't fun. Gary's working the thing, swinging the stick. I'm over here going to my windup, no ball, no glove, nothing. And so I'll go home and tell my mom, I guess I hit this park doing this crazy stuff. he don't know what he's talking about. I don't
Listen, so you like, did you ever see The Karate Kid? Like,
yes.
So you're like Daniel Son, wax on, wax off. Like, I don't know what you're doing here. Like
so I told my dad, I don't want to play baseball. I'm like, you don't know what he's talking about. That's what I'm thinking. Then my oldest brother told me, no, just stick with it, bro. You never know. You got nothing to do at school anyway. And stuck with it. And then as I started getting older, I understood. Like if I threw a ball, like say the Mookie's batting from the left side, I'm trying to go down and in, but the ball was up and away. I would know because my arm didn't catch up in time. I got here, and the reason I got here because I was rushing or something like that. So I knew that at a young age because my dad taught me all about mechanics, which they don't really teach anymore today. So by learning all the different things, and down in Florida playing baseball, the weather was always great, so you could play year-round. So even when the season was over, we'll get together and meet halfway and play guys from our school that lived in different neighborhoods and play. That's what we did. And then also like up north, like in New York, they have, in New Jersey, they have stickball. We used to call it strikeout, where you have a guy, 2 guys on the team, you got a tennis ball in the bat, you play, and if you hit on one side of the street, the other side is out. So that's the way we grew up playing. And so baseball is what I always wanted to do. When I was a kid on Saturdays, you get up, there's no school, so you have your cereal. I'll go outside, pull them boys to the house, or find one of my friends to play catch with. Baseball is the only thing that I wanted to do. And a lot of times you can ask, if you want to play baseball, what would you be doing? Something with baseball, I'm sure, because I knew nothing else. Baseball was my ticket. I was just fortunate enough and blessed to play baseball because I don't know what else to do besides.
And you were a big-time standout. So Harvard, you're a big-time standout in Little League as you go to high school. But the high school you play for is like rich in crazy superstar stud baseball players. Like this is, I'm a big numbers guy. You had guys from your high school getting drafted high, right beside you. Am I right?
Yes. So I don't know if you remember Mike Heath.
Yeah.
Played with the Tigers a little bit. He was drafted, I think it was 72 or 75. From that year to even after I was Sheffield graduated in 86, it was the number one pick every year from 72 to 75 out of high school.
Number one?
Number one from high school. We had 25 guys I just found out. 25 guys
25.
that played at my Little League part, not high school, my Little League part, that played at least one inning in the major leagues.
That's crazy.
From my Little League part.
Right. So I'm sorry, Doc.
No, go ahead. So my Little League, and we tried to, me and Gary trying to get that back into our park. We played in the city, and the kids don't get the same opportunity because traveling baseball now, we got all the best players, and a lot of guys can't afford that. So we try to have clinics and different things like what we played to get that, because it's good to give donations on it. But the kids, they want to ask questions, they want to touch you, they want to know how did you do it. So we're trying to get back into that to get them opportunities. But my high school, like you were saying, first of all, I'm gonna say we never won the state. The team we had, we never won the state.
Wow. All these number one draft picks, that's crazy.
19,
And Mookie Wilson coaching.
the staff we had 1981, my junior year. Okay, so we played Tuesday, Friday, Saturdays. All three pitchers. Got Van Lovelace, big lefty, well 6'5", 6'6". Number one pick with the Dodgers. He's in the Ron State deal. We had Albert Everett, number one pick by the Twins in 81. That's Carl Everett's older brother.
That's crazy.
And Floyd Yeomans was the number two pick by the Mets in 82. I couldn't break the rotation. I was a relief pitcher.
Imagine Dwight Gooden cannot break the rotation on his high school team.
But I can hit, though. I was doing a lot of...
Yeah, exactly. I asked him in the car, I'm like, would you have been a professional hitter? He says no. I say yes.
Yeah.
But final five.
So I couldn't make that. I was a relief pitcher. I was like the closer at the time. And for me, halfway through my junior year, Yeomans got kicked off the team for missing practice a lot. He moved to California with his dad. And I got into the rotation like halfway through my junior year. And if Yeomans didn't get kicked off the team, I wouldn't have pitched until my senior year because Lovelace and Everett were seniors. But I got in my junior year, I pitched well. I think I went like 5-0 with a 1-something already. But my senior year, I had a better junior than my senior year. My senior year, I pitched like almost every game. I mean, I would start Tuesday, depending on the score, I might relieve Friday. And then depending on who we play on Saturday, I might start coming in that game. Yeah. So it's a wonder I had anything left.
Coach would get arrested for doing that today.
You couldn't do it today.
So you were 17 years old.
Yes.
I'm sorry, as a junior, you were 17 or 16?
16.
Your birthday's when?
November 6th.
So so you graduate high school at 17.
Yes.
Got it. So you're 16 years old. 3 years later, you'll be the Major League Rookie of the Year. Am I correct?
Yes.
Right. And so then back to Mr. Mookie Wilson. I'll come back to Dwight in a sec. So Mookie, Dwight was just talking about how he had incredible coaching from his dad. At first, he thought his dad was crazy, right? Like most of people do. What was it for you? Like, how did you learn to play this? Was it you self-taught? Did you have some great mentors, coaches? And then, if you don't mind taking us from there to getting drafted, and all of a sudden you got this hot shot. Who's this guy, rookie, coming in? Like, good. But so who is it for you? And, please.
Well, first of all, I never had a formal coaching. Everything that I learned in baseball, I learned from my dad.
Wow.
Even in the major leagues, things my dad taught me, things that I used that saved me in the game, because we didn't have the real coaches coming through minor leagues that they have now. We didn't have hitting coaches and that, baseline coaches, all that. My father was really big, wasn't so much on the mechanical things of the hitting and the pitching. He was all about the mental approach.
Right.
That's what he was really, really good at. And I was a pitcher, like I said, most of the time in amateur ball. And my first game I ever pitched, I pitched to my dad. My dad was the catcher. So, and that was
how old were you?
I was about 13.
Wow. Okay. What was your dad's baseball background?
My dad was the catcher, and he played, and they call it semi-pro, we call it sandlot.
Yeah.
We played every Saturday. Every Saturday we played. And that's what we did. So when I was 13, I got to play with the adults.
Wow.
At 13,
All right. So you were a big time standout. I mean, you're playing, 13 years old.
When I got to high school, I was like I played Little League out, or I was playing with good grown men already and stuff like that.
So as a freshman in high school, did you start varsity?
Yes.
Wow. So this is incredible, right? I mean, you guys both played in the major leagues. You're having, because your high school is so crazy, you're having a difficult time being in the starting rotation as a junior. Mookie's there starting as a freshman, but obviously you guys are just complete rock stars. Yep. So you get drafted by the Mets.
Yeah.
And what happens with what's minor leagues, like that journey from minor leagues to major leagues? What's that like for you?
When I was drafted by the Mets, I was drafted by Dodgers first and did shine. I went back to college. When I was drafted by the Mets, in all honesty, I didn't know who the Mets were. I had no idea because the Pro Bowl was not something we watched. We had only one game that you could watch on television, and it was always the Braves. Yeah. That's all you seen is Carolina. The Braves. Nobody went the Braves. Drafted by the Mets. I signed. I was drafted in the second round. And it was tough. It was really tough because I had no idea that minor league ball was that rough. I had no idea that the bus rides, hotel accommodation, and even the ballparks.
So you were drafted in what year? 80?
77.
Oh, sorry, 77. So you're drafted in 77.
Yeah.
And how much did you get paid to play in the minor leagues in 1977?
Do you really want to know?
I do.
Okay. All right. It's almost embarrassing to see it, but I did. I was drafted in the second round, and I had a $22,000 bonus. Second round. That's what I got as a bonus. And
what's the second round bonus today?
Oh God, this got $2 million. It's almost $1 million pretty much now. But anyway, and I was made $500 a month. $500 a month. A month.
So did you
before taxes?
Wow. Did you do other jobs? That's $6,000
in the winter. Yeah, you had to. You had no choice. Yeah, and there's no choice. You had to work during the winter, so you couldn't devote your time to training. And there was never, the only training we got was the week before spring training. That was it.
Wow. Yeah. So you were you a fast run? Well, 77. Your debut at the Mets is 1980.
1980.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's that? That were you pretty confident once you're in the minor leagues that you were on a normal pacing to get to the major leagues, or you weren't so sure if you were going to make it?
I didn't know because I wasn't aware how pro baseball worked. It was like a day-to-day thing to me. Just talking with guys and stuff, all I wanted to do was just move up. You play rookie ball, and I played rookie ball my first 2 months, which I signed like in July because I went to College World Series in June, and I signed in July, so I played the last 2 months, and then the next year I got moved from rookie ball to Double-A, so I skipped the A-ball league because I'm a college player, so I did skip that. 1 year in Double-A, then I played 2 years in Triple-A, and then my second year in Triple-A is when I got called up.
Got it. And so you come to the Mets, and by 1980, when you come for a little bit, by 1981, when do you first start to become a more regular player at the Mets?
I played every day from when I first got here. I mean, from 80 when I got called up, I played just about every game that last month of the season. But 81 was my official rookie year, and I made a team as a starting right fielder.
Wow.
In 81, I made a team as a starting right fielder, and I after playing like a month or whatever, Joe Torre benched me. I never forget him for that. I never forgave him either for benching me. But I was hitting about 240, 250, and he benched me and said I was struggling, so he put me on the bench. And I was on the bench for about another month, and then the team was so bad, where I never forget that we were in San Francisco, and they had a meeting, and the coach came up to me and said, "We had a meeting, and you're going to be starting center fielder." And that
is Joe Torre.
Joe Torre was mad at it. Joe Torre not the one that told me. One of the coaches told me.
And so it was before Joe Torre's becoming a legend with the Yankees.
Yeah.
I'm a Met fan. He was the Met head coach, Met manager, Met manager, and he wasn't doing what he was doing with the Yankees and the Mets.
Well, in all honesty to Joe, he didn't have a whole lot of work with.
Yeah. So this does tell you need players. You could be a great mind, you need players. 1981, it wasn't working out.
Yeah.
So 1981, if I could interject real quick, we go to Shea Stadium. It's the winter. Nobody's there. I'm 11 years old, and there's fifth row behind the dugout. And I said, these are incredible seats. We sit in them. And my dad said, well, hey, they have one more thing for us to look at. So we go over and we go to box 113A. It's the front row, right as the edge of the dirt meets the edge of the grass. And this is where Mookie Wilson, Dwight Gooden, and my life will intersect. They don't know it, right? They don't know anything about it. And they don't know about it now. but our lives were on a trajectory to intersect. And because of what they will do, my life would never be the same. So I thank you for that. We'll come into that in a minute. But now, 1981, you're playing, you're there, now you're starting.
Yeah.
And, take us through, please, Mookie, for, quick minute or so. What happens over the next couple of years until the Mets get a guy named Darryl Strawberry, a guy named Dwight Gooden, please?
Well, I think that most people probably know the story. From 80 when I came up to 81.
And but can you share from your perspective? Like, what?
From my perspective, we were so bad, I want to go back to my leagues.
That's bad.
And then we were winning in my leagues. We had good guys on the team. We had Doug Flynn, Joe Youngblood, John Stern. They were good guys. But the team was not. We just didn't compete with the other teams, and I was happy to be here, and I didn't appreciate. I didn't understand what winning meant to New York. I didn't understand the love and hate relationship that Met fans had. They'd been struggling, and I didn't understand their struggles. And I think that's what it is. I didn't understand their struggles because, like I said, I didn't know a whole lot about the Mets. I knew and I had heard that they did this great, the amazing Mets '69. I heard about that, but I wasn't a part of it, so I really didn't understand it until I got here. And I didn't understand, the hostility. And that's what it was sometimes, the hostility that they had towards a lot of players. And it wasn't a hostility toward the players, it's a hostility because they weren't winning.
Yeah.
And it's a big difference. It's a big difference. And I learned that early because I go out there and I played hard. And I made one crucial mistake. And that is, I'd won every place I'd been. I thought that I was going to do that when I got to New York. And when it didn't materialize, then all of a sudden, I felt a little bit different. Well, maybe you're not as good as you thought you were because you didn't make that difference. Well, at this level, it takes more than one guy, And I had to learn from that and just go out and do the best I could and be the best that I could be and perform up to my capabilities. And that was the only thing that got me through those first 2 years because it was rough.
So I'm 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm 11, 81, 12, 13, 82, 83. And do you want to know how much I booed you guys? How much? You ready? Zero.
Zero?
I never booed. I never in my life have ever booed, ever. Because what I believe and appreciate is, how does that help?
Yeah.
Right? Like sitting there booing, and I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts in a second. I've never understood it. Like, this is your team.
Yeah.
It's somebody, is in the major leagues, and they're up there. And somehow I knew this. I don't know. My dad never even told me that I was 70. I'm like, do you think the guy didn't want to get hit?
Yeah.
Do you think he want to walk the batter? I mean, the guys are doing the best they possibly can. And the person that's the most upset, the most hurting, if they strike out in the key spot or give up a home run in the key spot, is that player. And the other thing I would think when I'm sitting there, and I'm 10 years old thinking this.
Yeah.
I was like, you go out there and try to do it, dude. You drunk, heavy set dude that's yelling and screaming and booing. Like, you try to get your ass out there.
I know. You're not.
I'm not normal.
You're different.
I'm not blowing smoke. I swear to God, that's the truth.
Yeah. And I've learned that just because fans boo you, that don't make him less fan. They're still passionate about it. Met fans are passionate fans.
Yeah.
They're very, very passionate fans. And I guess I've never been booed before, and I think that was part of it. And
Yeah. And I'm not judging them. I just think sometimes people, we all do. I do too.
Yeah.
We do things that don't make sense.
Yeah.
So for me, it's always made no sense. You're building a team. Like, how is that helping anybody? Like, I don't know what's happening. It's like if your kid's 6 years old and go up and bat and he strikes out, you yell at him. I mean, it's crazy. Like, how is that going to help?
Yeah. Well, that's okay.
So now you at some point have this hot shot. Not that he's saying he's a hot shot, but everybody's saying he's a hot shot. Like so Darryl Strawberry's the first hot shot, and this guy named Dwight Gooden, and all of a sudden you're hearing pop, like there's like some metal in the mitt, right? Is that am I right? Like there's some like metal in the mitt, or no?
It was. I tell you what.
Or am I just like fluffing up?
No, I tell you, when Darryl came up, and Darryl was this very high profile player coming out of California.
Crenshaw.
Everybody heard about the kid, coming out of California.
The next
6'6", and he had just beautiful swing. And when I finally saw him, he was about, his legs was like that big. He was real skinny kid. And I'm saying, this is what all the hoopla is about. I expect, this big husky guy. I'm serious. I expect this guy to be just a monster. And I'm looking at him, he said, this is what all I was about. And then he started swinging.
I'm going to play this clip we have Dallas River on for something.
Then you see him play, then you see him run, and you see him throw, you see him do all these things, and you say, wow, boy, I wish I had those tools. I mean, really, because I played outfield, I said, I wish I had those tools. Man, if I had those tools, they couldn't pay me enough to play this game.
And how tall are you?
I'm only 5'9".
5'9". He's 6'6".
I got a ways to go. I'm still working on that.
That's cool.
But and the same thing with Dwight. Got chemo. Dwight, the first time I heard of Dwight, he was already in the big leagues. I hadn't heard about the minor leagues, nothing like that. Hadn't seen the pitch. So, but that I heard talking in the clubhouse. They got this kid out the Dwight Gooden. Tampa. I say, Lord, yeah, right.
So Daryl's out of Crenshaw, LA.
Yeah.
Dwight's out of Florida. The two meccas of baseball, high school baseball. And you told me a little bit before this that you just saw when he was like, all right, let's see what this guy's all about. And you said there's a mound presence about Dwight Gooden at 19 years old. Or you saw first time he was 18 years old, I guess.
That's the first thing that I noticed. Because I'm playing center field, Hugger Field. I don't know if you've been to St. Pete, Florida. Hugger Field's an old place to meet you to, train and stuff. Right. And I'm standing there and I'm sitting right here, okay, let's see what this kid's got. And I'm watching him and high leg kick, he had the big high leg kick and he throw the ball. I said, okay, I can do it. Oh, it ain't no big deal.
Yes.
But let's see him face some hitters. But he approached hitters the same way he did. It was almost like a warm-up day. And that's impressive. There's no panic, no nothing. This kid's got, you knew something was special about the kid. Now, could he get guys out consistently? That remained to be seen. But the first thing I look for is mound presence. And even as a hitter, the first thing is plate presence. Whether he get a hit or not is irrelevant. I just want to see how he handles himself, to the good and the bad. And that's my most impressive thing I like about both of those kids, Daryl and Doc. They always look like they belong.
Yeah. And so belong he did, that can move on his Mr. Dwight Gooden. You are the National League Rookie of the Year, and if I get this incorrect, please correct me, but was it 276 strikeouts as a rookie? How about me knowing that? I didn't look that number up for this interview. I've known that since I'm 14 years old. Yeah, 276 strikeouts, and my life is changing because I'm just sitting there in 8th grade, not going out on a Friday night to go to the movies with my friends because you're pitching. And P.S., I was the only Met fan of all my friends. Most of my friends didn't even like baseball, believe it or not. I played football as well, so most of my closest friends were football players, didn't go. So you're dominating everything, and you're the guy. Like, how was that rookie season where you mentioned earlier, you go from watching and pretending you're these guys, playing, and the next thing you're doing, you're facing the likes of Pete Rose, Mike Schmidt. How was that for you?
First, I was like a dream. It's a real. I used to get more kick out of it after the game and go home and call my friends and tell them what I faced. It's not gonna be what I faced. They're like, you kidding?
I struck out Mike Schmidt. I struck out Mike Schmidt.
Like they normally believe me, like you didn't face people, you didn't face people, but they normally believe, and I can't believe it because back then there was no cell phones.
Yeah,
you went to the hotel, you call, and so I faced Del Murphy, I faced Andre Dawson, these guys. But the thing was things like Davey. He started me off my first 3 or 4 starts. He would only be going like 5 minutes.
And this is what, so it's like Met manager Davey Johnson. Dwight Gooden has this lightning in a bottle where Davey Johnson is his manager in the minor leagues.
Yeah. And I had Davey in the minor leagues, so he knew me. We had a good relationship. So my first 4 or 5 games, like I started my first game at Houston in Astrodome. So it's kind of like, not that he was babying me, but he kind of like, the second game in Chicago. So it was like, I'll go 5 or 6 innings, but I remember what gave me confidence and made me feel like you say how you had that one moment that you belong was mine was being at the All-Star game my first year. I made the All-Star team, and Nolan Ryan was like one of my childhood heroes. told me, he goes, man, you could really pitch. I like watching you pitch. And to hear Nolan Ryan tell me that gave me all the confidence in the world that I needed. And I remember after the All-Star break, Davey told me, I'm on Alicia now. You're all young, meaning I can go more than 5 innings now. He just kind of let me fall in. But I had good veterans around that made me feel comfortable. One guy that really helped me was Mike Torres. From spring training, Mike told me, he goes, you're probably going to make the team. And if you make the team, I'm probably going to get released.
Wow.
But to Mike's advantage, he told me, he said, but as long as I'm on the team, when you're not pitching and I'm not pitching, you're going to sit next to me. And I said, why? He said, because you're going to talk about hitters and different things. And what guy you think anybody that you know is going to take your position is going to help you?
Yeah.
I just sit next to Mike and he would say, what did you throw here? I said, why would you throw that? What are you looking for? And he basically was teaching me about these hitters.
What act of integrity, what act of leadership, Mike Torres, please.
Another guy, remember Craig Swan?
Craig Swan
Was hurt, but he would do the same thing. He would talk to me about pitching, how do you feel? And then I would have to eat on the road with Mookie, George, a lot of veteran guys. So they made me feel comfortable because, again, I'm a year and a half out of high school. I'm the youngest kid, so I wasn't really homesick, but it was different. But they made me feel comfortable, made me feel like I belong, and that went a long ways.
And you become correct me if I'm wrong, the youngest player ever to start the Major League All-Star game, or the youngest player ever to pitch in a Major League All-Star game. Is that right?
Yes.
When you're 19 years old.
19.
Yeah, please.
I never been so nervous. Now, that game, it was just what you call nervous.
Yeah.
Nervous heat. I was so nervous. And I remember the funniest thing about being on the All-Star team, when we had workouts, Howard Cosell was interviewing me, and it's funny now, but at the time I was like, because I was real shy and quiet, So I can remember Howard Cosell from him and Muhammad Ali getting into it all the time. He's interviewing me, and like I'm sitting right here from Mookie, he's asking me questions, but I'm looking at him like I'm amazed at Howard Cosell. I don't hear nothing he said. I don't hear anything. And so now they're like, Doc, so what do you think? I'm like, can you repeat that? I didn't hear nothing the whole time. They said, okay, let's go to commercial. I mean, nothing. I was just so nervous, and then I wanted to get in the game, but I would have been okay if I didn't get in the game. I was just happy being around so many players that I analyzed and I admire. And so when Fernando was pitching, they called down and said, "They're good now," and they said, "Good, you up." Man, wow. I'm nervous. I was more nervous than my boy.
19 years old, Major League All-Star game. And for folks out there that can't appreciate this context, it isn't the same today. People always say, it's not the same thing. It isn't the same. Baseball was the American pastime, right? Basketball and football were not what they are today. Right. The star that Dwight Gooden was, the shock, the impact, it just isn't like that today. Baseball isn't televised the same way. People don't watch baseball the same way. It's just a different universe. In those days, like the Major League playoffs, they were on the major networks, channel 247. That's it. What's happening today? It's like channel 78 and this thing and other contracts, right? So then, like when these guys were doing what they did, it was a different universe. You got Dwight doing that. Mookie is as popular as any Met ever. People just love him. He's heart, soul, core of team. We go through this improvement from 1983. Darryl Strawberry Rookie of the Year. 1984, Dwight Gooden Rookie of the Year. 1985. The Mets, we think might win the division. They don't quite get there. Dwight Gooden has, in my opinion, it's not statistically, this, but I believe as dominant a pitching season as anyone ever has. 1.53 ERA, 24-4. I'm blind, no notes. So I have any notes, Mookie? Right? Knowing these numbers cold. And his curveball, I don't even know if pitchers are stopping learning how to throw curveballs. There's nothing like a sweeper today. This curveball would drop from a hitter's head to his toes. It was the most insane thing to see. People are like, baseballs don't really curve. Go watch these videotapes of Dwight Gooden pitching. We'll put some right here. It's totally crazy. So dominant force. Now we're coming to 1986, and we're about to intersect the box 113A, Mookie Wilson as the greatest moment in sports baseball history. I'll go with. They call it number 3 all the time. Think of every million baseball moment. The number 3 moment. Mets steamed through the 1986 season, won 108 games. They clinched the division early September. Fans were on the field clinching against Chicago Cubs. I'm going to all these games in box 113A. Not every game. My dad sneaks me in. We don't have a lot of money, my family, but my dad has these tickets because of work. So every time he can steal me in, he's got a customer that's got a son. He's bringing me Maybe even sometimes Dwight Mookie. Maybe he's putting some of those tickets in the back pocket, bringing me and him, and right. And here we're going to the games. St. John's Park. There's no cell phones, and people couldn't confirm who was there. Maybe my dad had a couple phantom clients that were sitting in those seats with us. So this is the whole season. We're building up, and we're going to win the World Series. I haven't seen the Mets win the World Series in my lifetime. I was born in 1970. My dad would tell me the stories of 1969. We're ready to go. Here we go. Houston Astros. Tough series, crazy. Nolan Ryan, Mike Scott, J.R. Richard, Joaquin Andujar, all those 4 pitchers were there. Was I right or wrong about that? Or in?
No, J.R. was gone.
J.R. was gone.
It was Nolan, Scott, Nepper. There was a big lefty. The big lefty was
big lefty.
The
Shields. I should hit him. Yeah.
So it's Mike Scott. Yeah. It's Nolan Ryan. Yeah. It's Nepper. It's the Shields. Yeah. Right. So here we're 86.
Danny Dory.
And
Danny Dory.
Okay. Yeah. And then now you end up in one of the great controversial playoff series of all time, which gets overshadowed by what's about to happen in the World Series, because the Mets they lose. Was it game 1? Lose to Mike Scott or game 2?
Also, he beat me 1-0.
Beat 1-0.
Right. So Dwight Gooden goes out there and crushes it, gives up a single run, and we lose 1-0. Yeah. But now it's a question, Mookie, of the ball. So what's going on with the baseball? Mike Scott in one of these great controversies of all time. So what happens to the baseball of Mike Scott?
That's the biggest mystery. My question is what didn't happen. I know we had just a lot of evidence that somebody was doing something weird with the baseball. Yeah. Somebody was doing something with baseball. And
what people were saying, I'm not going to say Mookie's going to say it, is that Mike Scott was scuffing the baseball, was cheating.
Yeah.
That's what the word was. And by the way, baseball is an interesting game.
Yeah.
So people historically tried to cheat and get away with it. It's like baseball is a complex sport. So pitchers did things to the baseball, but the Mets now believe Mike Scott scuffing the ball, and it's in their heads. So game 1, Mike Scott wins. Was it game 4? They came back and won again?
I say what though, if I could jump in. So I pitched against Mike Scott game 1.
Yeah.
So like Mookie say, somebody was scuffing the ball.
Somebody.
I think, and just my opinion, I think out of that, they catch someone is shin guard. Because they checked Mike Scott all the time, never found anything. But the ball was definitely scuffed because I was using the same ball. I mean, I couldn't get it to do anything. I didn't know how to
do it.
Yeah, but the ball was definitely scuffed. But it's in the same spot.
So you hold the ball, it's definitely scuffed. In the Mets' heads. Now we get to game 6. It's 3-2. The Mets are up. It's in Houston. If the Mets don't win game 6, they're going to face Mike Scott. And facing Mike Scott has not gone too well so far. Right? The Mets. So the game goes into the 16th inning. Right? Go ahead, Mookie. Take it.
Yeah, no, this is the point where your chest start ache. Back and forth. It's been one of those matches. But I would say that going into that game, though, we knew that it was going to be. They matched up very well with us. Pitching wise, they had pitching speed, good defensive team, they had power. So they matched up with us pretty well. We were a better club, no doubt there. But they had the X factor was Mike Scott.
Nice.
And I think that game 6 was a must win because the last thing that we wanted, the last thing I wanted, was for us to face Mike Scott in game 7 because we had too many players already complaining about Mike Scott.
So now we're in our heads.
Nah, they're in their heads right now. In baseball, you can't play. Like, you cannot play. That's a defeated attitude. You can't play the game like that. You can't play a game thinking you're going to lose. And the question was, everyone said, why would the umpire do something? Why would the umpire do something? They hadn't done anything all year. So why would you think they're going to do something now? Then that really brings about questions. If they hadn't done it all year, they definitely ain't going to do anything now. So why I'm saying this, I'm not telling the players, though, why complain now? It's too late, But anyway, game 7 is something we didn't want. So game 6 was definitely a must win for us. And I could also say that the only time in the whole year that I felt threatened by another club. Only time.
Wow.
Only time.
And so 16th inning.
16th inning.
Wow. Please.
Game goes back and forth. What's the outfielder? Hatcher. When he hit that home run.
No.
I would say
Billy Hatcher. Right?
Billy Hatcher. I'm saying.
Hatcher, yeah.
I say, Oh, that's good. You know, and I think the game was going back and forth so much. I was so emotionally drained that I just wanted to get the game over with. I didn't care who win. I wanted to get it over with to start fresh the next day because my chest was hurting just from the thrill. You know, I literally, my chest was aching. I'm saying, this is too much. No one should have to go through this. And I'm glad we won it, knowing that Mike Scott was going to be in Game 7. We wouldn't have had anything left.
No.
We wouldn't have nothing, but they probably been the same vote. We wouldn't have anything left.
In the Astrodome, Jeff Siraska, you guys are going to the World Series. Here we go. I'm losing my mind. I'm 16 years old. My Mets are going to win the World Series. This is going to be the most incredible thing. Go to Game 1, Shea Stadium. Ball rose through somebody's legs will remain nameless, right? We know things don't quite go our way. Yeah. And then so the Mets lose Game 1. I'll say we. Mets fans say, right? So and then we lose Game 2 at home. My friends are writing up. I wrote this whole thing out of like what was going to happen in the World Series. Give it to my friends, and they're now writing the counter story as you guys lose Game 1. We lose Game 1 and 2, and I'm sickened. Right. Game 3 in Boston win. Game 4 in Boston win. 2-2. The world is right. Game 5 in Boston doesn't go the way, but we're coming home for Game 6. Right. So let's take us through, Dwight. Coming into Game 6. What are you feeling? What are you thinking? 1986 World Series. We're about to set up the moment that is the greatest comeback in World Series history, period, and rated the third greatest moment in World Series history by some. I'll say number 1. And Mr. Dwight Gooden, what do you feel and thinking as Game 6 in New York, in Shea Stadium? Here we go.
I thought we had a good shot at that time before the game started. You know, me personally, I didn't pitch well in the World Series. Game 2, I had nothing. Game 5, I had nothing. So I was looking at it like, man, how can, from a selfish standpoint, I'm like, how can, that's where the self-pity come in. How can they pull me out of this? But I had confidence that with going back to Shea was going to play better because I thought Game 1 and 2, well, Game 1, I should say, I think wasn't prepared because of what we went through in Game 6 against the Astros. So I don't think we were basically there. But again, the World Series, I didn't pitch well, but I still had confidence in our team. And from a selfish standpoint, I was hoping we did well so I could maybe come out of the bullpen or something like that. But I had a lot of confidence in our team that coming back home, we still had a legitimate shot, even before we got down to the famous end. I still thought we had a good chance.
And so we go into this game. Roger Clemens, one of the great pitchers of all time, also pitching. I had the privilege, after you and I, Dwight, met for the first time, of the next night going to dinner with Roger Clemens. And after you told me all about Game 6 from your perspective, he told me all about Game 6 from his perspective. So now we're there in Game 6. It's tied going to extra innings. And if the Mets lose, this dream season of 108 wins, 54 losses, one of the most dominant baseball seasons a team's going to ever have, right? It's going to all be gone. My friends are rooting against me like crazy. My heart's breaking. And my dad and I, this is the core of our existence in life. As we just talked about in the hospital, Dad, thank you guys again so much for doing that. My dad. And my dad is in the front row, box 113A, those seats I had the privilege of picking. I'm in the last row of the upper deck, thrilled to be there. In extra tickets my dad was able to get, sitting with my uncle. And my dad comes up in the beginning of the 10th inning, tie game, and says, come on down. I have a broken ankle from playing high school football my junior year. I start crutching down, and Dave Henderson hits a home run. And I'm in shock. And later, as a sophomore at Columbia University, we play at the Oakland A's spring training facility in some of our early games in the season. I'm in the A's dugout, and I bump into Dave Henderson. And this is only 3 years later. And I said, Dave Henderson, you almost crushed my heart and my soul as he's packing up his stuff. Like, what are you talking about? So I told him this, and privileged to him that story. So we're there, and we come into the tunnel, and the Mets are down a run from Dave Henderson on a run. I go in, crutching my dad, come out of the lower level of Shea Stadium tunnel, and somehow another run scored. I don't even know what happened, right? I didn't even hear any crowd noise. So I'm like, wait, I literally thought the scoreboard was wrong. I'm like, Dad, the scoreboard's wrong. And I'm like, what happened? Like, no, they scored again. They're like, oh my God, it's 5-3. But as Mookie Wilson would say, Mets have Wally Backman coming up, Keith Hernandez, Gary Carter, right? 2, 3, 4 in the lineup, right? And so Wally Backman comes up, and all of a sudden flies out. Keith Hernandez hits the ball well, right? And he's out.
Okay.
There's 2 outs. I'm in shock. Tears. I'm 16 years old. Tears are welling up in my eyes.
Yeah.
Gary Carter gets 2 strikes. And this is proof that miracles happen. The statistical improbability of a team coming back in the Major League Baseball in the World Series, in any game, especially in the World Series, against a team as great as the Red Sox, down 2-0, 2 strikes, nobody on, to Gary Carter, and he gets a hit.
Yeah.
There's no noise in Shea Stadium. It's like dead, right? And I've never given up. I did not give up. I was not giving up. I refused to give up in my heart, in my soul, in my mind. But I was like in tears. I'm fighting what's going inside of me. As a fan, I'm sitting there just 20, 25 feet away from the first base bag. And then 2 strikes again. And it's drama. It's at it. Kevin Mitchell's up. Base hit. Because Darryl Strawberry's out of the game in a double switch. Then Ray Knight comes up. 2 strikes again. It's unbelievable. Now there's a lot of noise though. Like noise is happening and he gets a hit. Shea Stadium explodes. Complete insanity. Now what's present for me is why everybody wasn't believing from hit number 1 and why everybody needs like all that stuff happened. So I'm making some noise. I'll always be challenged. The psychology of people, right? Mookie, you're such a bright light and things your dad told you the mindset. Why is everybody waiting till something happens to cheer you guys on the whole time? That's the truth. Right? And so it's down 1 run, right? The Mets have 2 guys on base on first and third, and up to the plate comes as beloved a Met as ever played, the Mookie Wilson. And sir, please take us from, do you walk to the plate? What's happening in your heart, mind? What's going on? What happens from there?
First of all, you know how you...
How do I do in that setup, by the way? Am I doing all right?
Yeah, there's a great setup, but the one thing that, when you're growing up and you're dreaming and you're thinking that you always put yourself in a position to be the hero. I want to be in that position to be the hero. You always dreaming that. You don't want to be there. Don't let anybody tell you, unless you're in that spot.
No.
That is more than no one should have to bear that type of burden. But that was my spot then, because I had to go from we are down, we're probably not gonna make it, we probably had blown this, to now I got a hit, and I didn't think I could have an opportunity to hit. And I get up there, so now I got one thing on my mind right now, that is, hey, you just gotta do you, which is swing the bat.
And now, Dwight, as Mookie's up, and all this insanity is happening, what are you thinking? Like, what's happening for you?
So when Mookie came up, I thought we had a shot, to be honest. I'm not just saying it because he's here.
No.
Because all the pressure, like he says, pressure on him, but the pressure, I look at that situation is on the pitcher too.
Yeah.
More on the pitcher. But before Mookie came on, before we got the rally going, once it was 2 outs, like you talk even in Little League, the game is not over till it's over, but I thought it was done. You try to think of what I could have done differently, what the team could have done differently. Feeling bad about yourself, self-pity, all this stuff in the clubhouse. Then it was a hit, then another hit, a wild pitch or something. Mookie came up. I'm like, somebody get back out there, put my uniform back on. We got a shot here. So I had a lot of confidence that at that point, we had a good, legitimate chance.
All right. And there's pitch 1. And pitch 2. Please take it.
I had to pitch out the pitch. I mean, I'm swinging for dear life. That's probably my best at bat I've ever had.
And everybody who not a baseball fan, right? The average amount of pitches that a player's going to see in a bat, I think, and I could be wrong about this, but I think is like 3.1 pitches is the average like amount of pitches every batter sees. Like if you look at every bat like in a season. So pitch 1 to Mookie, pitch 2 to Mookie, pitch 3 to Mookie. Okay, that's an average at bat. Pitch 4 to Mookie, pitch 5 to Mookie, pitch 6 to Mookie. Now we're like kind of an outlier at bat. Pitch 7 to Mookie, pitch 8 to Mookie. We're in a crazy situation. The place is going crazy. And what happens next, Mookie, isn't it?
First of all, after the first pitch, I went per my average already. My 1 pitch per.
Mookie's a free swinging player, swinging the bat.
As a pitcher, I cut you up, but the last guy you want to see that situation, they got us a free swinger.
Yeah.
Because it's got no holes.
Yeah. And that's the way I was thinking about it. The umpire, I took the umpire out of the game. He was not going to have anything to do with it, no matter what. And that's kind of the philosophy that I took my whole career. Don't let the umpire determine what's happening at bat. But I'm swinging, and I'm just fighting balls off. And people don't understand the wild pitch, pass ball, the baseball depends on whether you're in Boston or New York.
Yeah.
It depends. I'm playing with house money after that.
Yeah.
I mean, everything.
So
is,
Mookie's up, and
Yeah.
and the ball gets past the catcher,
yes, this package.
ties the game.
Yes.
And Shea Stadium is literally moving.
It's moving.
Like the whole
Yeah.
place could collapse.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. We all died in that moment.
Yeah.
None of us
Nobody
care,
would have cared.
right? Yeah.
Oh.
And so it's going crazy, and now it's a tie game.
Yeah.
And Mookie's up. Please.
And I'm saying, okay, the score is tied. Only thing I can hear, I can't hear anybody boo me now. I can only be cheered.
Yeah.
You have no idea how that
What's that? Yeah.
So all I got to do now is concentrate on doing my job, which is put the ball in play.
And right before this,
Yeah.
they put up congratulations,
Yeah.
Boston Red Sox
Yeah.
winning the World Series on the scoreboard at Shea Stadium.
Yeah.
They got a clubhouse guy, puts on a Boston jacket in their dugout, ready to run out. They made Marty Barrett of the Red Sox the MVP of the World Series. Are you kidding me? Mookie.
That shows how much confidence they had in me. I'm like, but anyway, but I actually had some pitches I should have really, and I was upset because I had two good pitches that I should have really done a lot with. And I think you can probably see my show emotions on one of those swings. I'm like, I'll never get that one back again, because you're going to get one pitch to hit, you know. And Stanley was not, I've faced him before. So I
Bob
knew,
Stanley, Red Sox.
yeah, I knew what he was going to try to do. You know, so I was kind of trying to take that pitch away. And when I got the pitch middle end, which is a left-handed dream, but getting that pitch middle end, about knee high, and I went at it great, and then I kind of turned over it.
Yeah.
And when I rolled over it, you remember when I met you today, you said that the first time your father heard you curse?
Yes, sir.
Well, that's
Was
the first time. That's when I.
You were cursing that moment.
I was laying some words out during that moment, but that's another story for another day. All right. So after that, it all happened so fast, and after that, then I just took off and started running, not knowing where the guy was playing or anything like that. I just took off and started running, and the ball was just bouncing. Took forever to get down to first base, and when it went between his legs, I said those same words again.
So Mookie hits a ground ball towards Bill Buckner first base.
Yeah.
I'm sitting
Yeah. Oh.
20 feet from Bill Buckner.
Yeah.
And the whole place is thinking Mookie Wilson's, not the whole place, half the place thinks Mookie Wilson's going to round out.
Yeah.
And all I'm thinking, I'm a player, I'm playing, I'm going to be a Division I college player shortly thereafter. So I'm understanding the whole thing. And all I'm looking at is Mookie and Bill Buckner. Mookie and Bill Buckner. I look, the pitcher's not covering. I'm like, Bill Buckner's not beating Mookie to the bag. Like, this is going to be amazing. And all of a sudden, I think Bill Buckner may look up to see where you are.
Whatever happened, and I spoke with Bill a couple of times. We talked about this, and he says he didn't take his eye off of it. He just was rushing because the pitcher was late covering. And the question people ask me all the time is, would I have beat him to the bag? And Bill and I, we watched this video time and time again, and we're in agreement that even if he catches the ball, he's not going to beat me to the bag.
Amen.
All right. And I'm saying, well, I'm glad you missed it, because if you catch it, the score is still a tie. People got to remember that.
Yeah.
But we got a good hitter coming up. Got Hojo coming up.
And my heart breaks for Bill Buckner, because people say something that's totally untrue.
Yeah.
Is that he lost the World Series to Red Sox. It wasn't even Game 7, and the game was tied. There's no way.
Yeah.
You got, it was not no way, but you guys had so much momentum.
Yeah.
Like going into if you beat him to the bag, or if you don't, right? If he catches the ball, makes the out. Like you're in extra innings now, and you have all the momentum in the world. It's Bill Buckner, I think, got one of the most raw deals in sports history. What do you think?
I think so, but that's baseball, because people say, well, why is that? And I always give the analogy. if you can't find your keys or whatever, you don't look 5 different places and it's always the last place you look. That's the last thing people remember. That's the last thing that ended that day, and that's all they remember. They don't forget about all that other stuff that happened before that. You forget that you looked in your glove compartment, you looked in your left pocket, you looked in your shoe bag, but it's always that last spot. And people remember that, and as unfair as it is, and we all know, I had the pleasure of playing with Bill for many, many, many years, playing against him. And I had the pleasure of being a friend of his for just as many years after. Mm-hmm. And that play could have happened to anybody. Yeah. It could have happened to anybody. It just happened in a time when both teams were cursed, for like people to say. And the two cities that were involved, it was so much at stake. And the fact that, and I will say it, they had the game in their hands. They had the game, and they couldn't close it out. So, and I think that they have to blame somebody.
Yeah.
And it's easy to blame that last person that had the opportunity to put it into it.
And here's my take as just on a self-mastery, a mindset level, right? Is yes, the Red Sox couldn't close it out, but in that game, Gary Carter, 2-strike hit. Oh, Kevin Mitchell, 2-strike hit. Yeah. Ray Knight, 2-strike hit. Mookie Wilson, 10 pitch at bat.
Yeah.
Put the ball in play. You're going to beat him to the bag. What in my heart, what that taught me is that there is never a time where something is over.
Yeah.
And every one of you did your job to make sure that our hearts and souls in New York was not crushed, devastated, destroyed. And it inspired me. I would not be doing this podcast. I would not be in a place. I don't know if you guys know this. I'm just going to say it in my heart. I'm on the verge of becoming the first blind, self-funded unicorn, which means $1 billion company, founder, creator ever. In the history of planet Earth, it's never happened before. Blind, self-funded, unicorn business builder, history of the planet. That would never have happened if it wasn't for what you guys did. And I honestly believe this. Probably, there's about 20 other things that had happened too in my life and other people and places. But the New York Mets, 1986, Game 6. And this is why, guys, because you go, oh, well, this is going to be like the end of the podcast. So you should ask them like one more thing. I will, one more question each on one thing. But the answer is yes. Because this wasn't a podcast about Met history. This wasn't a podcast about every aspect of the amazing Dwight Gooden and Mookie Wilson's lives. Yeah. This was a podcast about the impossible becoming possible, about miracles happening and what everybody did along the way to make it happen. And whatever, and Dwight, Mr. Dwight Gooden, you're mentioning, hey, like there's a part of you that felt like it wasn't going to work out, but you had teammates that picked you up, and you picked those teammates up hundreds of other times when you were the dominant force doing everything, because that team was never where it was without you. And I'm not saying it to be nice, I'm not saying to be kind, but that's the case. We all have moments where we have doubt, but then Mookie Wilson picks it up, and Gary Carter, Ray Knight, and Kevin Mitchell, and that's what team is about. It's about picking each other up on all the things you guys do. And then Game 7 comes in. You guys are down 3-0 again. I have no doubt whatsoever. Then Dalström hits a home run, and Ray Knight hits his home run. Like, unbelievable. And what I want to know, two final questions. I'll make it a compound thing. First, Mr. Dwight Gooden, anything you want these fine folks to know? You go on and win 2 more World Series with the Yankees. Pitch a no-hitter with the Yankees. I tease and joke because, like in New York, like you're the Mets Yankee fan, but you made me unable to root against the Yankees because of my love and appreciation for you. But anything you want these fine folks to know in, final, as I like to say. And Dwight Gooden, if you could be remembered for anything you want, this is the legacy of what we want people to know about you, right? Not the worst, not the best, not the mean, just what you want to be remembered for by people. What would that be? Mr. Dwight Gooden.
Okay, the two-part. First of all, what I like to be remembered of is obviously off the field. I had my downfalls. It was time that I didn't believe in myself, but I got to talk to pressing. It sounded like during 2019, where fans, family, all believed in myself more than I believed in me more than I believed in myself. Because of my fans, my family, the people that are around me love me so much, they got me back on my feet. So what I like to remember, yes, I made a mess, but I try to take that mess now and make it a message. That's what I try to do now. I can't change what happened, but I can share what happened to try to help somebody else that may be going through those struggles, a family member or someone might be going through those struggles. So one thing I remember of, yes, he fell, but he turned his life around, turned the mess that he made into a message to try to help someone else.
If I may offer something from my heart, I don't think you failed. You can call it whatever you want. I don't think anything is ever permanent enough or final enough to be failure. And taking something that wasn't the way you wanted to and turning it into a message of inspiration for people is so utterly powerful and amazing. And I mean this with all my heart. If there's ever anything I can do in service and support of what you do, even those kids in Tampa and that Little League, I am here because of what you've done for my family and my life. And so even in moments that were imperfect, I mean, who isn't imperfect? Who hasn't made mistakes? But for the grace of God, I've made tons of mistakes, and we all have made mistakes. But when you're a superstar in front of the world, you make a mistake, it's going to get amplified, magnified, twisted, and turned a million different ways. You've always talked about, and we'll give props to George Steinbrenner and how he related to you and treated you. In that spirit, please relate to me in the same way that if there's ever anything to do for you, Mr. Dwight Gooden, because of what you've done for my father, being on his 80th birthday, all of the memories of what you did as a player and afterward, I couldn't thank you enough. And thank you, Mr. Dwight.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate you.
Thank you. And Mr. Mookie Wilson, same question. We want these 5 folks to know, like, if you could be remembered for anything, what would you want to be remembered for?
I think that the first thing is I would like for people just to judge me based on the work I've done. Let whatever I've done speak for me. I think that's an old gospel song and stuff like that. And so I don't need to tell people this. I don't need people to. I don't care about people constantly telling me how great I've done, what I've done, this, that, the other. People that have come in contact with me, I want them to understand that who you see, that's who I am. And as far as the game, baseball has been very good to me and my family. And baseball has been a great lesson. And I like people to, and I try to relay this message to people because I do a lot of public speaking. I'm an ordained minister, and I do a lot of, I talk to people a lot, and I let them know that just like in baseball, we practice, what you call it, PFP, bunt plays, and all kind of defensive schemes and stuff like that. And all of this saying is that if you put your body in the best position to be efficient. And that's what life is. You put yourself in a position that you can take advantage of any opportunity that might arise. Here's an opportunity, not someone. No, opportunity is always there. You're just not always in the position to take advantage of it. So that's the message that I like to leave with people. But as far as how they want to remember me, hey, just let my work speak for me. Don't let me, I can't tell you how great I am or how bad I am. Let you be your own judge.
If anybody ever wants to have a celebrity, athlete, speaker, people that are a part of the sports history, these guys are the people that they're sitting there eating birthday cake with my dad. It was
a good cake too.
It was a birthday cake. They're just loving, they're present. It took a lot longer than we thought at one point. Sometimes we got in hospital. And these guys could not have been more present, more loving, and better. And I can't thank you again enough, Mr. Dwight Gooden, Mr. Mookie Wilson. God bless the both of you.
Thanks.
For everybody, seeing what you don't see is what this is all about. Seeing what you don't see. And these folks are part of a miracle, and miracles happen every day. But it didn't just happen only from the hand of God. It happened because they did the things. They're not perfect. I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. But miracles happen when the heart, the mind, the mastery comes together. And that's what these people in the 1986 Mets. Let's go Mets. Here we go.
Thank you, Mets.
All
right, man. Thank you for listening.
Yes. Oh, yourself. Thank you, buddy.
All right.
Thank you. Great show. Thank you.